Vag, vag, vag. What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
All right. We're recording.
We're back.
We're back. That was fun. I liked talking to Ian yesterday.
Oh yeah, Ian's so much fun. I like that he's bike riding. It makes me want to get a bike that I could kind of a bike that collapses so I could put it in my car.
Yeah. My sister was telling me that bike sales have gone up a lot since the pandemic started.
That makes sense. I wonder if they're more expensive now. I have to get into something that nobody else is doing right now because of the quarantine.
Have you thought about rollerblading?
Do you think people aren't rollerblading? I like roller skates. If I could get the old roller skates I had as a kid, I would do it. I don't like roller blades though.
Yeah, they roller skating right now is really big on TikTok, and then I know Ashley, she got some roller skates and they're really cute.
I like roller skates. I used to have white ones that had little pink wheels.
Yeah.
I could probably get into scuba diving. I'm sure that stuff's really cheap right now.
Scuba diving or just flying.
Yeah, something that's gone down because no one's doing it, even though I'm not going to be good at it.
I know. I was like, part of me wish I didn't care, and I'd be like, now is the time to go traveling. It's
for
so
sure
cheap.
You ever see that one meme where it's, I guess a guy or a girl, and they're like, I got this cruise for $29. And then they're like 2 weeks later, they're fried and they're in the hospital and like their hair's on fire.
Or like, I think sometimes I've seen when people do like this parasailing, they'll just fly right into a building and then are in the hospital for like a month.
Yeah, I mean, I cut my finger pretty bad the other day and it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I thought I might have to go to the hospital. And then I was like, I'm going to wait as long as I can. It bled for a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, from what I gather, I don't know, people are saying that people aren't going to the doctor's office because everybody's so nervous about going to the place. But
yeah.
they're saying that it's not so bad, that maybe you could go to a doctor, like your private doctor.
My doctor, when I last had talked to them, was probably about 6 weeks ago when I thought I might have COVID. And they said that they had just a note on the door that said they weren't seeing patients and you can call the the service.
Yeah.
They must have been in there though, because I called them and got through to them, and they weren't seeing people. They were just like telling you where you could basically go. So I don't know if they've reopened yet. It makes sense though. My primary care doctor has 4 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know Joe and I were talking about renting a car and just driving cross country or something. Now that we got our unemployment checks.
Did you start getting unemployment?
They sent me an email and they said, congrats, you've been approved. Go to online or whatever. You have to go weekly to claim your weekly benefits, meaning I guess if you're like, has any work been offered to you? Did you decline it? All that bullshit.
Right.
Did you make any money? Well, I'm not going to tell them I made $50 from a show.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah. They're like, don't take that money away from me just because I don't know.
$50. I mean, I guess the good thing for me is I'm not making any money, but
yeah,
they have not congratulated me. I just went on to check and it said that I guess I was approved for weekly compensation, but they're making me wait that first week, and I'm like, I've been waiting almost 2 months. Why are you making me wait another week?
Yeah, they just said, we're pleased to inform you that your claim is now complete. You will soon receive a letter, monetary determination in the mail telling you how much you will receive a week. In order to receive your funds either by direct deposit or debit card, you will need to claim your weekly benefits. This is called your weekly certification. You must do this every week. I remember doing this when I filed unemployment or had to fight for it with RAR, but then I ended up getting a job. As soon as I got approved, I had ended up getting a job that I was like, oh, I didn't need it anymore.
What's weird is I didn't get an email. I just went in to check to see if I had any pending payments, and it said what my weekly amount would be, but it didn't say, and it said like make sure you certify, but it didn't say when I would start getting it.
Yeah, well, when I went online, it did mention, it says here that you haven't worked from March 13th to now. So I'm hoping they give me
They give
back.
you one. Me too.
Yeah, because that would be awesome.
You guys should definitely go cross country if you can do that. Because I mean, I have a car too, and I'm like, what should I do? Should I just leave? But then I'm going to be by myself.
Yeah, I'm just like, you could go camping. I feel like those are safe, or walk in parks and stuff like that if it's not like crazy. Like, because we were going to go to Joshua Tree Park right when this happened, but we canceled just because there was a COVID case in that county, because that's where they canceled Coachella. But when I've gone to that park before, and sometimes when you're on the trail, you're the only one on the trail.
Where is that? I don't even know where it is, Joshua Tree.
It's in California by Palm Springs a little bit.
Would you guys drive there?
Yeah, these are just ideas that we were talking about. It wasn't anything set in stone. But, you know.
I mean, if you're not going to be working for months, that sounds like a cool trip to take.
Yeah, and then I figured if we had to go into stores, we just do what we do when we go into the grocery store, is just wear a mask, and we bring a bunch of gloves with us and hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that's what I think most people are doing anyway. It's weird because this is going on so long that when you go outside, it feels like it doesn't exist.
No.
I think too, the numbers going down has made everyone really complacent too, where you're like, okay, so the numbers are down. It's starting to get nicer out. I got to let Zuzu in.
Yeah, go for it.
She'll just keep friggin' clawing at the door. She can't make her mind up when the pod starts.
Oh. You can tell her that she's always welcome to stay and hang out.
She is, but she's look there. Do you see her?
Yeah.
Hang on, now she got to come on the bed. Oh no! Sorry about that. I was thinking of just getting in the car with her and going somewhere.
Yeah. What about? Can you visit your friend in Texas?
It's not a bad idea. It's just such a long trip to take by yourself.
I know my sister's about to do it. She is stopping off in Carolina or Richmond or Virginia. But I was like, if you just do Adderall and drink Coke, it takes about 24 hours.
I mean, I'd be up for that, but where are you going to get Adderall right now? It's so hard to get any of that stuff. I would have to, I'm sure somebody in the comedy community has Adderall. You just pay for it. Comics were always just selling Adderall.
Yeah.
It's like a real business.
I've been doing Tylenol PMs on the weekend. We call them our PM parties.
Are you just doing it on the weekend so you have something to look forward to?
Yeah, and also we didn't want to have it as a habit that we get into, but I do notice by Monday night I can't fall asleep as well. That I feel like I'm getting used to just taking a PM.
Yeah. There's some stuff that I'm saving also. Like I'll wear only my nice underwear on the weekend.
Yeah. Something.
Even though it's just for me. Yeah. It's just like the comfortable ones or something. Yeah. I'm just trying to treat myself on the weekends or something.
Yeah. Just as it feels like you're going out.
I have been going out. That's been helping. But it is weird when you're stuck in the house all day. Like today's really nasty out.
Yeah. It's gross.
The day really drags. So I just try and see if I could fall asleep during the day so the day will be shorter. Right now I'm trying to live as little as life as I can.
Yeah, just hibernate. But you're gonna look so young when you come out from all the hibernation you're doing.
I hope so. I had that joke about how you should be able to put yourself in, like, be able to induce yourself into a coma for a little bit, and this would be the perfect time for it.
Oh yeah. I mean, waking up and then we're back to normal again. Just imagine your landlord just knocking on your door while you're just like.
He's like, you owe me $5,000.
And then they have to take you to court while you're sleeping.
Yeah. It would be funny if somebody's in a coma right now and they wake up when this is over and they're like, what the fuck happened in New York?
Oh yeah. I was just thinking that you wake up from your coma and then your landlord's like, you owe me $5,000, and then you put yourself back into a coma again.
Yeah. Or I just put myself into a coma and sleep in my car for the next 5 months.
Yeah, why not? This is like completely I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do because some places are acting like Joe. We were gonna go to a Brandy Carlisle concert, and then I guess Ticketmaster doesn't want to give their money back, so they keep postponing it. But they were like, we'll go in August, and we're thinking 2020. But then we looked at it, the email closer. It's 2021 that she's postponed her tour for a full year. So did Ricky Gervais.
What's crazy about that is between now and August 2021, so much stuff could happen.
It could be a whole different world. I mean, look how it's different from the beginning of March even till now. Like, it's just different.
You could stop liking her music. Like anything, you could get cancer and then get cured of it and then get it again and get cured again.
Yeah, there's so much you could go through while we're all being in lockdown.
It's weird because I started watching Handmaid's Tale during this, and even though it's different circumstances, it's eerily the same, where like you can't really go out and it just feels weird. Have you watched it?
I watched I think for the first season I only watched like 3 episodes. I was liking it, but I think we talked about this last time, is like I just ended up watching reality show because it's just easier for me to digest at the end of the day.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, reality show, you don't really need to pay attention, whereas that show, you kind of need to know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a heavy show. It's like reading.
It is, but it feels so weird how people like can't go out and they're sneaking around, and then people are wearing masks, like when the one kid was sick, and somebody made a really cool video of a mask out of a sock. It was really cool. I mean, I don't know where it is now, but it was a cool video. You could probably Google if people are looking for ways to get masks.
I have to check that out because I'm now beginning to see everyone with their cute masks, that I have now this thing of like, I want to get a cute mask.
FOMO. I wanted to get a pug mask.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was cute. A little puggy.
Well, Vicky was saying, she's like, I'm surprised. My sister, she was saying that she went, because I was telling her about our merch, and she was like, they should do vag face masks.
That would be cool. I would definitely get one.
That I'm like, I'm surprised Teespring hasn't offered that as a thing. I sent you your Venmo for half of what we made for.
Yeah, I'm rich. I'm going to Texas on it.
I know. You know, I did it.
Very nice. It was very nice though. Whoever's bought some merch, that was really nice. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I was seeing some people have gotten a mug. The one guy, I only know him as Brown Owls on Instagram, got the blue T-shirt that I thought was cute.
I like the blue T-shirt a lot.
Yeah, they have a yellow one. I wish we could just get it. They gave us a sample of everything,
and then we could just wear it every day. I do want a vag mask though. I'm gonna see how we could do that. That would be really cool.
I bet you there's a way that we could do. I don't know if then we'll end up like breathing in the fumes, but you could probably print the logo and then steam it on somehow onto your mask.
It's not a bad idea. I was going to do a fake Louis Vuitton one where I just wrote the letters all over mine in blue ink. And someone be like, that's fake. I'd be like, there's no way it's fake. I paid $500 for it.
It's just like a new, what they're doing with their logo right now. They're going rustic. Because every time they change they get an artist to revamp it just for fun for like a month or so.
That's a cool idea. I wonder if they would do it now. I wonder, like, there's so many different types of artistry and everyone's just suffering right now. I do really think I should still go to mechanic school though. It does seem like a smart second career move.
Well, I don't think mechanic shops closed down during quarantine.
I know. I think they're considered essential business.
I saw this guy had, like, I guess he's some specialist during COVID or whatever, and he was talking, but you have to look at what his face looks like or his beard, and I thought this would be a good mask to wear. Here, let me zoom in a little bit more.
Is Hannibal Lecter?
It's got like, he's got a mustache and then a bottom goatee thing, and it just covers his full mouth, that I was like, this should be a face mask. Just one.
It should, but it doesn't cover his nose.
I know, but you just make it a little bit.
Make it bigger?
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like the one, a mask that looks like Hannibal Lecter, so you look like a cannibal.
Yeah, that's a good one. Those are for our steampunk fans.
Yes, the most punkest.
I did Greg Stone's late night show last night.
Was it so much fun?
So much fun, and I went to watch it on YouTube, and it's so fucking funny and crazy that you're like, I think this might be my new favorite late night show format, because you can
I'm gonna check it out.
on the side, ask him to do it.
Who is doing the keyboard? Him?
So he's his host, and then Anthony DeVito is kind of like his sidekick, and then Dan Shockey is like the producer of the show that like coordinates guests coming in and then sharing videos on screen. So I went on there to share my film called Dottie that I just made, and then we just talked about how atrocious Greg Stone's agent Rick Baker is, and that he's been sexually assaulting everybody in Hollywood right now.
That's hilarious.
And but then I watched more of it, and it's just like so wild and crazy that you're like, this is way better than Fallon, or where you're like, because they're drunk, you can drink on your own show. You don't have to worry about anybody. That I'm like, more late night shows should actually think about going in the realm of YouTube Live.
I'm sure there will be more coming out of this. And Greg's smart, because if he gets in early enough through this, he might be able to really build a fan base. And maybe when this is over, he'll just keep doing it.
Yeah. Well,
That's smart.
I want a late night show, or that'd be funny for Vag to do something, but I don't want to encroach on his area.
We can definitely do a live show on Instagram or something, or however you wanted to do that show.
Well, I'm thinking YouTube Live would be fun because it's a way to get more people to come see our channel and get to see more of Vag.
That's smart. And then we can display some of the ugly stuff we've made in arts and crafts.
Yeah, and then have a few guests stop by. And
well, I was gonna do a sketch, I guess a reoccurring sketch show with Zuzu, who is a nosy child protective services. Like, she keeps getting calls that I'm abusing my children, and then she shows up to my house, and I just keep making excuses why they can't come in
like
to see my children. I'm just using dolls, pretending they're real kids.
Yeah, they're sleeping right now.
Yeah. Or I like pretending that Zuzu is working right now while I'm home in quarantine. She's bringing home all the money.
Yeah.
And every day she comes home, I just yell at her because I'm like, where's the money? And she has none.
Is she a stripper?
She hasn't done stripping yet, but she's usually like, she's done a lot of telemarketing and door-to-door sales. Those are her jobs.
She's been selling knives.
She's selling knives. What a weird job to have right now. Do you think people are still going door to door? Not right now during this, but were people still selling stuff door to door?
I can't imagine. I think all of that marketing or pyramid marketing stuff or whatever ended up just going online.
I would think so too. I mean, also you're just carrying this shit door to door. How frustrating is it to be a door-to-door knife salesman and you just keep going through this demonstration and people keep pretending they're interested in it and no one buys it? How do you not stab one whole family at the end of it?
Oh, I know. It's got to be. Also, I feel like as time goes by, like, I don't know. I know how my work ethic is, or if I was drinking, that my knives would start looking really shitty to display. Or just like forgetting pieces and then making up excuses of why one knife isn't in my package right now. And just like, I just feel like I would lose. It would be unmanageable for me to be like a knife salesman.
Where you're just showing them stuff and slicing your finger off. And you're like, oh, this is part of it. I do this every day.
That's how sharp it is.
Yeah. What a weird thing to sell door to door. Because I have seen like old timey stuff where people are literally selling knives and like cutting up cans to show how sharp they are.
Like, I just think of like, I would forget my can and be like, hey, can I borrow something in your house to cut up? And then they're like, that was actually very precious to us. Like, it just
yeah, you just start owing them money.
I know.
Because you've cut stuff in their house that they're upset about. They're like, that was actually an heirloom worth $5 million.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you the one time I did a garage sale in my neighborhood, like a little stoop sale with a friend of mine who lived 2 blocks away from me. So she brought all of her stuff down and she had this like pewter stone candle votive that I didn't think much of it. And then she was like, I'm going to go get more stuff. So since we were doing it combined, this old lady came by and was the first object she picked up. And she was like, how much is this? I go, oh, $5, because that's what it looked like to me.
Right.
And I guess it was impulsive. And then the girl comes back and she's like, where's my pewter stone thing? And I was like, oh, we sold it. I sold it for $5, which I thought was a high marking.
Yeah, of course, for a dumb little votive thing.
She was so upset with me. She was like, I was going to sell. I didn't know what her selling points were so crazy high to me. Like,
That's hard.
And she was like, I was going to sell that for $25. And I go, what?
Why?
I know. I was like, why? And then I felt so bad that I was like, she's like, my grandmother gave that to me. And then I was like, well, why are you selling it? And then all of a sudden you're having this emotional attachment to it. So I had this very beginning of our garage sale, I paid her $25. So I started our garage sale in the red.
Minus $25.
Yeah.
That is weird. It is weird when you start thinking of like throwing stuff out and then you're like, well, that means something to me. Like, you ever go through a closet or just a drawer that has like a bunch of old stuff and there's certain things like I'll throw out I don't really have much attachment to clothes and stuff, but I still have this little toy dog that I found in the park when I was a kid, and like, I won't throw it out. It was probably worth $1,
Yeah.
and it's not like I even use it ever, but it's just in this box taking up space. And it's this little dog that is it
this big?
It's probably not that big. And it has a little tail that you turn.
You should
and
put it on display.
Where am I going to put it on display right now?
On your bedside table.
Maybe I should go through that drawer. It's such a weird bunch of stuff. There's like old pictures. You remember when you were in school and you made pictures of, like frames and then colored macaroni? I have like pictures of that in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I have like report cards from the first grade. I have all those weird type of things where you're like, I don't need this at all.
No, you know what's weird? I have a friend who I went to high school with, and we were quite close sophomore year, and we've reconnected slowly. And she just mailed me a whole bunch of notes that we wrote each other in high school, and I've been reading them, and I was like, was I in love with you? I felt, you know how like high school girls get so obsessed in their relationships?
Yeah, I had a friend like that in, I guess it was high school. She became really good friends with all the pretty girls, and I think she is gay now, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she like targeted her friends. You know how sometimes friendships just happen and those are the best ones? I felt like she would specifically go after like really pretty girls.
Yeah.
But
it's just like really, because you're reading the notes and you're just like, sometimes it's like, yeah, it really hurt me when you said this. And then you're like, it didn't even matter. And then you're like, why would I even bring this up? Or,
yeah.
And then you're like, she was just living her life. It's just really interesting. We're like, God, but also high school girls, do you know that they send like 2,000 texts a day or something insane like that? Where you're like, if we were doing that now, that would be considered a psychotic person.
2,000 texts to everyone or in general?
Just in general, meaning like they're talking to their friends. I don't know if it's 2,000, but I know it's such a high number compared to what we do. Like I probably sent 5 texts yesterday.
Well, what's interesting is that when I was a kid, I was like on the phone all the time. I was on the phone for hours. So I'm sure if I was that age now, I would be texting all day. So there are days I've texted so much my thumbs hurt, and I'm like, I need to give my thumbs a break.
Yeah, people have that thing from like holding their phone like in a certain way that now they have a little indentation in their pointer finger.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I know. It's just really funny how, and we talked about that yesterday with Ian, like how your brain at that age, I don't know what it is, and even to your early or late teens to early 20s, you're just obsessive.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, it's so weird. As a kid, I did have a good childhood despite like how we grew up with not like a lot of money and stuff.
Yeah.
I still really like enjoyed my childhood because I did have good friends and had fun. But I don't know why as a kid I didn't think that was going to change. I guess I just thought I'd be 30 living with my parents, still hanging out with my friends in the park. You know what I mean? It's so weird that like,
amazing to me.
yeah, I remember I had this friend and she like always had a problem pooping. But like when she pooped, it was like an ordeal. Like her stomach hurt. She was in the bathroom for hours. So one day I was just hanging out with this girl and we weren't super close at this point, but we had just eaten McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, she had to go back to the house. And I just remember like she blew up the bathroom and her sister, I remember exactly what her sister said because it's so dumb. She was, what were you eating, snakes? It's such a random thing to say, but I don't know why I'll always remember that.
Yeah. That is so funny. I can understand why she said snakes, probably because her turds looked weird, but it also seems disgusting. But you're like,
Probably.
Eating snakes probably wouldn't do that to your turds like McDonald's would.
Probably not. I would think eating snakes is way healthier than anything McDonald's is making.
You know what's weird? I had a weird dream. Do you have weird dreams now?
I do if I can remember them. Sometimes, like, I'll remember it as soon as I wake up and then I'll forget. I don't remember any of my dreams recently.
Well,
but yeah.
I know people are like, oh, I hate when you talk about it, but sometimes I'm like, they're so fucking funny because they're wild. Like, in fact, even if they're anxiety inducing, I'm like, well, that was still really fun.
Yeah, especially mine always don't make sense and they jump from like one thing to the next and it's kind of like my jokes. There's just no transitions. It's just like one thing to the next and you're like, this doesn't really make sense.
Well, like the other day, I think I took a shit in Matthew McConaughey's house.
That's great. What a random person's house to shit in.
I know, but it was so weird because this is what the dream was. This is really gross. I guess the shit had coiled up underneath the toilet seat. And
okay.
So when I looked back to flush, I was like, where did it go? Like, I was like, I don't know what happened to my turd. So I was like, I guess it just went straight into the hole. And then he used it right after me. So when he flipped the seat up, my turd was all along.
Were you super embarrassed in your dream?
Yes, because he yelled at me and then he shit shamed me. And I was like, that is so funny I almost feel like that's my body's way of being, or my mind just being like, I think she's dealing with anxiety and I don't think she realizes it. So let's just like try to tell her in a way that she'll understand. Because I did have a feeling of like anxiety in that dream. But I'm like, I love that this is how it decided to tell the story of anxiety to me.
It's so weird that Matthew McConaughey is just starring in your dreams.
I know. I should tweet at him and tell him what my dream had.
He'll probably be like, you're not the only one. A lot of people are dreaming about shitting in my toilet. What do you think about, speaking of famous people, what do you think about Adele losing all that weight?
Here's the thing.
She looks weird to me.
She looks weird. I don't know if it's because it's shocking and it didn't happen over time in front of our eyes. I mean, I should be happy for anybody that's happy with having weight loss. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But I didn't really feel like she was that bad before the weight loss. I know she's had her heavier years, but that seemed like when she was in her early 20s to late teens. But then, like, I don't know. I felt like she was fine.
I just feel like as a heavier person, we lost one of our good role models. Do you know what I mean? It was so easy for so long to be like, well, I'm heavy, but like so is Adele and she's killing it. And now we don't even have her. Now we just really have Lizzo.
Yeah, you're like,
and you're like, Lizzo, please do not lose a lot of weight. I don't think we can handle it.
I follow her on TikTok and she's working out. So
damn it.
Feel lost. I don't know what we do. Like we
lost Melissa McCarthy.
It's so funny though, because they're always like, I love my curves. And then over time they get like liposucked. Do you think, Adele must have gotten like a lap band surgery because that's the kind of weight loss it looks like she went through.
She lost over, I think, 100 pounds. That's, I don't know. I mean, look, of course, her to be healthy. It's just, I guess, like you said, we haven't seen it happen naturally, so it does seem a little shocking. I wonder if she just did it because she went through a bad breakup. That seems like the type of thing you do when you go through a bad breakup.
But she writes albums. That's what she's supposed to do, not lose weight.
I mean, maybe she's doing both.
There are certain people that I see where I feel like they look better with a little bit of weight on them. Like I always thought Lisa Burke was really pretty. And then I have this friend that I work with. I was like, I find her gorgeous, and I think she's like pretty just the way that she is, but you wouldn't consider her skinny by like standards.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
like I like it because I was like, it just looks good on her.
I just think, especially if you're in this entertainment business, it's hard because I think Taylor Swift said it too, where she's like, they want you to be really thin, but when you're super thin and have a flat stomach, you have no ass.
Yeah.
I think that's more probably true for white people, like white women.
Yeah, if you go to the Upper East Side, the skinnier, you're like, where did their ass go?
There is no ass. They look the same from the front and back.
I think I'd rather have a little bit of an ass than be like bone skinny.
Of course, and then as you get older and age, the thinner you are, like you just see more wrinkles and stuff. So you really can't win.
Yeah, I think you got to stay at like a size 8 to a 10.
Yeah, that's probably the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you start getting weird wrinkles on your knees and.
And then also looks like their skin gets tan, so it gets that weird salami texture to it.
Ooh, salami.
You know, like those ladies, it seems like women that play tennis in the East Hamptons or something.
Because they're getting tan a lot.
They always, like if you go to the US Open, it's just a ton of ladies with like salami skin all around their neck.
That'd be a good place to try and sell your knives. See if you can cut some of that off.
Cut their salamis off.
Just want to cut the first layer of your salami skin off. Yeah, but I think that is a place where, like, if you're out in the sun a lot and you're older, I do see a lot of women have a lot of dark spots, and it is kind of hard like salami.
Yeah, and now they sell these things that you can put in between your tits when you sleep, so you don't get that like chest wrinkle area when you sleep on your side.
What is it? Like a divider?
Like, yeah, like a plastic tube thing that you just put in here.
I already find it so hard to fall asleep. If I had to put a tit divider in between my tits while I'm trying to sleep.
Well, I think
I already have a bit of like tinnitus in my ear, so if I sleep a certain way, I hear it. So between that and my tit divider, I just feel like I would never fall asleep.
Oh yeah, like the older we get, they're always trying to come up with stuff like now you get silk sheets, so it doesn't like cause wrinkles on your face and like split your hair. I think I saw one the other day. You know, I have that line right here. You can put a little divider in there so you don't get wrinkles.
Is this a real thing or you're just making this up?
No, it is a real thing. It's like you can buy it with your tit divider and get it for this. So when you sleep, but I'm like, I'm never sleeping where I'm like concerned.
Frowning?
Yeah.
Do you think you were frowning when you were shitting Matthew McConaughey's toilet?
Probably like this. That was probably what I was doing in my sleep.
I love that you can divide your face and then also your tits while you're sleeping. What else could they possibly come up with?
I don't know, but there's now everyone's pulling their hair tight so they look like they have a facelift. It's called the fox eye look. It's basically doing like
where are you reading all of this stuff?
You got to go to TikTok.
Oh, okay. So what do? You just pull your eyes back?
So you take this hair strand right around your forehead and you do it tight into your ponytail.
That's what my mother did to me as a kid. That's like flashbacks to my childhood where my hair was so tight, you got a fucking headache.
Yeah. Oh my God. My favorite thing to do is to take my ponytail out after a long day and then just like feel your hair under the water.
I remember my mom was in the hospital because she had a miscarriage and my dad had to do my hair. And he gave me, first of all, if you're not doing someone's hair often, don't do pigtails. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of try and pull it back. But I remember I had like one up here and one down here. That's how you know a dad, like if, that's how you know a dad has watched the kids, because I guess the parents split up when they come back to school one day and their hair is a mess and none of their stuff's in their bag.
Yeah, they're like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "No, my dad's just taking care of us right now."
And you're like, it shows.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Well, one time I remember watching my dad take us to the pool, and we were pretty young. Like, he had to change my sister's diaper, so I knew that we were kind of young at the time. And I remember watching him do it and just being like this. That feeling of like, what is this? Like, Mom does not have a hard time like you do.
Yeah, watching your dad do anything that was sort of domesticated.
Yeah, one time he put my brother in a bathing suit, and he put my brother's leg through the waist part, and then his waist was in the leg part, so he had one large leg area, so his dick and balls were hanging out of his bathing suit.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, that's not, I don't know. I was like, this is just really, dads have a hard time doing that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad was a bit lazy, I would say. Like,
well, yeah.
No, finish what you're going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that I just think, and I don't want to call all men, but a lot of men, I see this with Joe, like, he does not know how to put the dishes in the dishwasher properly. You know, like, he puts the bowls where the plates are, and then everything doesn't fit in there, and I can't, and then I'm just like, I don't understand why you can't even do it. And then when he cooks, there's like egg splatters everywhere, and it's never cleaned up afterwards. Or when he throws his socks, he doesn't even put it in the hamper. They're just like hanging out close to the hamper. Like, they don't have that thing of caring about details.
I mean, Liz was talking about something similar with like her male roommates, because she's staying with, I think a lot of people probably know our good friend Liz Neal, but she said that she'll go home after being at her boyfriend's for a couple of weeks and the place is just a mess. And she'll be like, what's going on in here? And they're like, well, if you let us know you're coming home, we'll clean right before. And it's like, well, just clean the whole time. And I don't think guys care that much.
No, and that's the thing that's the problem in a relationship, because we care the most about stuff like that. So we're the ones that are always losing.
I think you just got to give up. You just got to meet them where they're at and just try and gross them out.
Yeah.
Like, start leaving your stuff all over the floor.
I wish I had my period, because then I could really do some damage.
That's what I was going to say. Wait till the period time. Just bleed all over the sheets and stuff and leave it.
Yeah, or just chuck my bloody tampons on right by the waste paper basket in the toilet.
Yes. That would be a good one if you could do that.
Yeah, that'll really drive it home.
Maybe leave a tampon in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, that infuriates. There's a TikTok that I saw that made me laugh really hard. This dad is yelling at his daughter about putting her bloody tampons in the toilet. And then she's like, well, where am I supposed to put my bloody tampons? I just like the openness of their conversation. But it was so funny. He was losing his shit. And then
where was she putting them?
She's just trying to flush them in the toilet. And then she was like, well, no one's going to know it's my bloody tampons in the neighborhood. And he's like, it's not the point. It's that you're supposed to not put your bloody tampons in there. And I was like, I would never have this conversation with my dad, because I'd be so embarrassed. But I love that.
But like, I know people are like, you're not supposed to flush them down there, but where are you supposed to put them?
I put them in the waste paper basket. And then after a few days, I tie up the bag. I usually try to hide it underneath toilet paper, so it's not a disgusting mess when people come in there. Or you get the waste paper baskets that have the closed top.
First of all, usually if it's like the second day, there's no way I could even get it. It is so full of blood.
Yeah.
It just comes right out.
No.
I would have to have a little catcher down there to catch it.
Yeah.
And it would just look like it was full of jam. Like, it would be so hard to wrap that up. I would waste a whole roll of toilet paper.
I know, but I do it, but it really does destroy the plumbing.
I know, but this isn't my place. I know that sounds awful, but like, I'm not going to go through that every month I just can't do it.
I know. I know. I just thought it was such an enjoyable conversation to watch. My friend told me she lived in a place where I thought this was funny. Apparently, when they took a shit and then they flushed it, the piping, something had broken underground, and that all their turds were coming up by the end of the driveway.
That's hilarious that you just go outside and see your family shits. And you're like, which one was yours? You're like, that one looks vaguely familiar to mine.
They couldn't figure out what it was, and then they realized what it was happening, and it made me laugh. She was like, it was like a ghost. It was like you thought you were never going to see that turd ever again.
And then there it was. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm here. It's a lot like your dream. You thought it was a ghost turd, and then it turned up. They just needed Matthew McConaughey in it to show them where the turds were.
I was like, that is so fucking funny, because you never are like, you flush your shit away and you're never like, I wonder where it's going, or I never wonder.
Or you're like, I hope he's having a nice journey.
Yeah, where is this journey?
You know, I dated this guy when I was, I guess, in my 20s, and his grandmother, I guess they had an old house also. So all of their toilet paper that they wiped their butt with, they put in a trash can. So if you went into the bathroom, you would just see a toilet.
Awful.
Yeah, you would just see like toilet paper with poop on it. I thought that was so bizarre.
That's wild.
It's very wild. I mean, I guess because they were using, I don't know. I don't know if they were using regular toilet paper and not for pee and putting it in there. I guess guys don't do that.
Maybe just like paper towels, and also it's like, that's the other thing. They're like, don't flush paper towels, but you're like, how much thicker is a paper towel compared to toilet paper?
I think some paper towels are much thicker. I've been using Scott paper towel, tissue paper, even though it's really thin, it just lasts forever.
Yeah, me too. It's cheaper too.
Yeah, and it just lasts a long time. That's what I used growing up too, because we had shitty plumbing.
Well, if you use those cotton ones, they get that little film dust that comes off, and then you get what my friend calls them. They're called little pussy joints.
What is that?
It's the toilet paper shavings that end up in your pussy folds, and then because it's slimy, it kind of slowly rolls them into tiny little joints.
Ooh, I was gonna say that. So it's our way of making a pearl.
Yeah, I haven't made a pussy joint in forever.
Pussy joints would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I do. It's just not, it makes you wonder if you just put rolling papers and some weed in your vagina, that after a week you would have like a rolled up joint.
It'd probably be real slimy, but yeah, I think you would have a rolled up joint.
But then you just like put your lighter underneath it and then burn off the dew or whatever, and then just sell it to guys that are horny.
You think you could just stick, I guess, some pot, maybe like a joint up your vagina, and you would just get high slowly?
Maybe if you made that THC oil and butter and let it cool, and then you just put it in your pussy, or just a suppository into your butthole.
Okay, would you have to kind of sit and then lift your legs up so it would go in?
Yeah. Well, if you put it in your butthole, you just clench your butt cheeks for a moment. I had to do suppositories when I was a kid for medicine.
I remember being like 5 years old and getting an enema, and everyone made it seem like it was going to be a lot of fun, and it was not. I remember just like laying on the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I was maybe had a shirt on, but I was just like on my stomach on this kitchen table, and there was like everyone from the neighborhood there. And then you get something in your ass, and everyone's just around talking like nothing's going on. What a weird and bizarre way to get an enema as a child.
I need to know what happened. Like, was your stomach full, like constipated?
I guess I didn't shit for a while. I have no idea. I just remember like laying on a towel.
I mean, that's
happening
for the neighborhood to be like, this is exciting.
I guess there wasn't much going on then.
Yeah, it's like a movie premiere.
They're like, we're all going over for the enema tonight. It's just such a weird thing where everyone's there and everyone's just having a normal conversation, and you're like laying there waiting for this enema to take place.
Yeah. I mean, I have to know some backstory. I feel like this is really funny that you're uncovering this memory right now.
Yes, I just thought about this as you were telling me about your enema story.
Yeah.
That's the one time I remember having an enema.
Yeah, I didn't have the neighbor. My mom had to stick a suppository up my asshole because I couldn't keep medicine down when I would get sick. So I had to go the butthole route.
Oh, okay.
God bless her heart. I can't imagine sticking things up my kid's butt.
I guess you just give them, I don't know, I guess you have to trick them in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you remember feeling relief from your enema?
I don't remember much. I don't even know what they were doing. I think they were just digging in there and trying to get it out. I have no idea at this point.
You were probably just constipated because it sounds like a lot of kids get constipated.
I was definitely constipated, but I don't remember even shitting after. I don't remember what happened. I just remember being on the kitchen table, like laying on my stomach as a kid.
Yeah. No, do you remember anybody cheering? There must have been a moment of like, there we go.
Maybe. It was also an apartment building, so you couldn't really be that loud to not wake up everyone else that wasn't at the enema party.
Yeah.
I guess I remember only it happening one time. Maybe it just unclogged me for life.
I feel like that's called a Bronx brisk.
It's a Bronx tale, that's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you need to find out more information because it's so funny to me that you're recovering this
memory. I was thinking of starting a podcast with my mom, just calling it like, where did you fuck me up? Because there's so much fucked up shit. There's so much fucked up shit that's happened in my life. I'm trying to recover, like trying to trace back to where they just really let it go.
Yeah. Do you think your mom would do this? I highly encourage it because I think it would be cathartic, educational, and highly also there's some funny moments that would probably from you calling out your mom on some of her crazy shit.
Yeah, I think I would do it. I would try and do not too long though. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how moms always want you to stay extra time?
Yeah.
I think it would be that type of thing.
Yeah. You'd have to come in with some bullet points to keep on track.
I would. I think I would probably start remembering more stuff.
Yeah, the one about dragging you guys out when she got in a fight with your dad so you can go to your grandmother's house in the middle of the night where you're like, could have this just been done in the morning?
Yeah, I just remember my mom caused a lot of drama, so I guess that's why I also have a lot of drama in relationships. Yeah, we didn't need to like run away like slaves in the middle of the night to my grandmother's house. It was such a weird thing where like she had the dog in a bag and she's carrying the dog and we're all going over there.
Yeah. It could like because it sounded like it was just an argument rather than like fear of her life.
It was an argument. And it was usually around the holidays. I remember it was around Thanksgiving. And then the next day so like my grandmother's lived on the ground floor. Did I ever tell you about my grandmother, my mom's mom? I wish that she didn't die when I was so young because I would have loved to ask her more stuff about her being Jewish and feeling persecuted as a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother insists. Did I ever tell you about her living situation? She lives on the ground floor and she made up this story where she made this story up in her head where she thought the owners wanted her out, so she thought that they would turn the heat on extra hot. She thought they were sending her extra roaches, so what she would do is
schizophrenia or paranoia.
I don't know. She would save all of these roaches.
Yeah,
because she was going to take them to court, the people, to show them all these roaches she had. And I told someone that story and they thought she was going to take the roaches to court. And I'm like, she wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
She was trying to take them. And then they had this daughter that was like, I guess retarded. So my grandmother thought that they would send her down to her house to just like retard by her window.
Your that's crazy. No,
that's what she thought. So she thought this lady Diane would just come to her window and start like rah, 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 by her window, and she thought she would do that on purpose. And I'm like, as a kid, I just believed her, but now I just think that was her being her. Like, I don't think she was coming to her window.
Yeah, because it's not like that lady's those girls' parents were like, "Hey, go down there, hang out by that window, and do what you do best."
Put some roaches in the window. So she had this big like conspiracy about how they hated her and wanted her out.
Yeah.
And I just wish that I was older and could have. I was too young to see how insane that was.
Yeah, you're just accepting it. That's the funny thing as a kid. You're just like, okay. You're just like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, it's funny when you get perspective when you get older and you're like, what? No, that's not happening.
No.
Not the way your grandmother thinks it's happening.
It might have just happened that she lives in a shitty apartment that had roaches.
And a downstairs upstairs.
Well, she was quite old. She was probably like 40 or 50, but she lived with her parents, you know, because she was older and slow or whatever.
Yeah.
But my grandmother would get so mad that she would like put up like these things to block this lady from coming to her window.
Oh my God.
It was kind of like a retard love call.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
I like that your grandmother had no affinity of like, oh, I wonder if she's in distress, or like she's like, oh, I fucking hate that.
No, she's like, they want me out. They're giving me roaches.
You're honest. They're putting
super hot in here
outside of my window.
Yeah, my grandmother, I think I'm probably similar to her, not in that way, but she like was up late at night. Do you know what I mean? Like she was like a night person.
Yeah.
My grandmother, when she was living with my mother's father, used to gamble really bad. And like they were poor too. So she would gamble and like lose money sometimes. And then my grandfather would hit her.
Yeah.
And then my mom's telling me this story. And as my mom's telling me, my mom's like, well, I kind of understand though. Like you're gambling the money away. And I was like, yeah, like you're not for hitting, but at some point, what can you do to show somebody that that's not cool?
Yeah. I mean, they're
like,
not learning. So in a weird way, you're like, I have to hit them.
I'm sure he didn't start out hitting her right away. I'm sure he was like, hey man, just like kind of like, you know, when you pretend to hit someone, I'm sure he did that a bunch.
Yeah. Why couldn't he just leave her? I mean, he's the guy. He'd always make money somewhere.
He did leave her. And then he lived across the street from us. And then later in life, they started like hanging out again. And I don't think it was because they even were in love with each other. I think it was just because they just got used to each other and they were both old.
Yeah. It's like some people are, you know, like that happens in life of like, it's kind of like, you know, how a job won't fire a shitty person at work because it's just harder to go find someone new. That they're like, yeah, it's easier to work around this.
My grandmother also loved Macy's. She was obsessed with Macy's and would always go there and buy her stuff. And she also, I guess, had this fear that everyone thought Jews were cheap, where she would over-tip where it was embarrassing. And I was like, hey, nobody even knows you're Jewish. Just tip regular.
Yeah.
It was so
to be in that stereo where you feel like you're in that stereotype that you have to overcompensate. I see that a lot in other races, and I'm just like, you don't have to do any of that shit. Please don't.
No, just tip whatever you want to tip. But she would tip so much where I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like now they're gonna know. Just tip normal. Why can't you just be a normal person?
Or is it she's trying to save to make sure it equals out all the bad tips they've gotten from other people?
I guess so. But yeah, she was an interesting person. Her and my mom kind of had a relationship like me and my mom, very tumultuous and
on and off.
Yeah, my grandmother was also her son. My uncle was a Hell's Angel that got killed.
Yeah.
And I think she was just always mourning that. Like for the rest of her life, she was sad about that.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it's also like she just never got over it.
Yeah, so it's hard for the other family members to deal with.
Yeah, and I'm sure that my mom also felt that too, where like, especially Jewish and Italian moms, I think they love their sons so much more than their daughters.
I know, it's so was it you? Were we talking about that? Yes. Oh, about Italians? About
probably.
Their sons, how they baby them so much.
I mean, I just like my dad's mother and father, my uncle lived with them until they died.
Yeah, it's like,
He's like 40 or 50 years, probably like 45, 50 years old.
it does feel like, that's why I was like that Amy Schumer joke about like certain moms have that vibe of like, oh, I wish I could have fucked my son.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dated anyone like that.
I don't think I could. I think I would hate, and this happens too with guys dating women that talk to their moms every day on the phone. I think that's also weird.
Very weird.
Like there was this one guy that came into the bar one time, and he started talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, my wife's on the phone." He's like, "She hasn't talked to her mom in a while," and I was like, "Oh, how long?" And he was like, I think like 2 days ago," and I was like, "Oh God, you should get out of that relationship."
Yeah, that sounds like toxic. You should find out how you can end that ASAP.
Well, you could tell that he was highly annoyed because I felt like in a weird way he was a little bit flirting. Like he was very like we just had a long conversation and it was like fun, and I just felt like he's like, I just don't get anything from my wife, so I'm gonna try to get stuff from this female that's a bartender right now.
I feel like a lot of people do that though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, outside. I mean, every now I feel like the amount of time that I'm on my phone during quarantine, I'm like, I'm sure Joe needs some outside flirting soon or something, so I should probably get off my phone.
Do you want me to just send him text and pretend to be flirting with him just to help you out? It would be purely as a friendship move. I'm not into Joe. He's a nice guy. But I'm saying, but it's also too, you're like, my mom used to do that. My dad was a bad gambler, so my mom would just have emotional, I guess, relationships with men.
Yeah, it makes
Like
sense.
nothing physical, but I guess my dad was too busy gambling to even notice.
Yeah. It's so funny because I bet you like women would prefer to outsource blowjobs for their husbands. And then, men would prefer to outsource some guy to come listen to you.
For sure.
Like that's probably what our sex robots will be. It's not a guy that we can have sex with, but maybe like a vibrating thing on him. But like generally it would just be him being like, oh, that sucks.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. It seems like no one ever really listens to you.
Yeah, like that's all you're like, what you're doing is amazing. And then he gives you compliments all the time.
You just pull a string on the back of him and he gives you all these nice affirming attributes like, your hair looks pretty today.
Yeah.
Even though I know you have not washed it in 4 days.
I can't believe you went through that in your childhood.
That's so fucked up.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Like, well, first of all, Joe's trying to write a little short film about how he fell in love with the Planned Parenthood lady that took his warts off his penis.
Okay.
And I was like, that totally makes sense. Because every time I go to Planned Parenthood, like, to get IUD or, like morning after stuff, they always they're so non-judgmental. They make you feel so welcomed and that anything that you've done in your past is fine, that everybody goes through this and they've seen worse, that there is part of you that's like, I'm in love with you. They're the nicest people.
I feel like that's sometimes about Alan.
Yeah.
And I think we've had this conversation and Joe is upset about it, but it's true. He's so nice and caring and understanding where you kind of forget he's old. You just almost don't care.
You're like, all of a sudden, I just want to blow him.
You're like, this guy gets me. He really understands everything I've been through.
Because that's the other thing that I was talking about with Joe is like when guys are like, I don't understand how that guy gets all those girls. Like, I can we talk about that with Joe DeRosa, where like, people are like, he's so gross. And I'm like, yeah, but whenever you're talking to him, he's actually like, he's listening and you feel like he's there in the conversation with you. So I kind of understand why girls gravitate towards him.
I understand why girls would gravitate towards him. I don't understand why anyone would keep liking him. Do you know what I mean? Because I do think you're right. He will talk to you. He will engage you. And then he kind of just becomes a dick.
Yeah, he doesn't have that thing to keep it long term, I think, and that's probably why he's always trying to hook up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like somebody like him who's been adopted, I think he's just trying to find his parents. Like, I think that's what he's doing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's adopted. And I think he's just trying. I mean, I think he's probably just figuring if he hooks up with enough women, he will find his mom.
The love. Well, I definitely feel like guys that sleep around a lot, it's to fill some kind of void. It's like a drug.
Of course, yeah. It's like any other addiction.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I don't know. They're hurting. That's how I see it.
So maybe they should also have a robot. I feel like they should have a robot that blows them, but also tells them how great they think they are at their dumb jobs.
Yeah, I think that's where robots, sex robots are lacking, is that they also need to give out compliments all the time.
Men do like compliments, and that's the other thing too, is you'll see a guy who will just, if a woman is just a little nice to him. Oh, I just got something from the Department of Labor. It says, hold on, let me see.
Ooh, maybe I got one too.
A text. It said, your benefit claim can now be paid. Wait, I wonder if that's like a trick.
Oh, yeah, be careful. Because how would they do you give them your number? There are a lot of scams happening with, just do it online. Don't do anything through phone or.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'll click it just to see what it goes to.
Yeah. That was close.
That was close. I almost just lost none of my money.
I guess we're wrapping up. Do you have any shows this week, next weekend?
I don't have any shows.
I did 4 spots. I did our podcast yesterday. I did Kate.
I have a bunch of podcasts, but I don't have shows.
Yeah, and I did a show last night. They paid me $85, and I was like, that's amazing.
Whoa, you're killing it right now.
Well, that's what I love about the Zoom shows, is you're like, if that's the money, that I don't mind. There's such a low threshold, so you don't know if you're eating it. So I don't mind just talking for about 10 minutes with new jokes that I have.
I mean, I would do that.
Yeah, that was easy. No one's expecting you to like just be killing it. There's no way to tell if you're killing it on these rooms.
Now, can I ask you something? When you're doing these shows, do you hear people laughing, or are you just talking?
I hear some people laughing. It's mainly they told all the comics to keep their things unmuted because they know that we would be better about being quiet during people talking.
That makes sense.
The fun part was, I feel like I do better in the chats, because then while people are doing their thing, you can joke off of their stuff on the chat room. And so I was talking to Mike Cronin last night, who's a really funny comic in the Midwest.
Oh, that's fun. It's nice to be able to do shows with people that you don't normally get to do shows with. That's a cool part.
No, that's why you're like, all these shows, Zoom shows, should really be taking advantage that they can have people from all over come. Like, people in Houston should be hosting shows.
Yeah, because they could get comics from New York and LA, or people from the Midwest that they don't have access to.
Yeah, because I did Sally Brooks's show, and she lives in Cincinnati, so it's just a bunch of people and her network of friends out there to watch it. So there's just like a bunch of people that can't come to see shows here. I would have to say they probably have way too many comics on. The show is almost 2 hours, and I feel like that's a long time to ask people to be looking at their computer screen.
I think 45 minutes to an hour is probably the best amount of time, because once it goes too long.
Yeah. You know what I also like is that you can now the names of every audience member in a Zoom show, because you can see it in their screen.
Ooh, and you can be like, hey, Frank two-time your wife, whatever your name is, stop laughing, mute yourself.
I don't like your body language right now. I need you to sit up from the couch.
Yeah, or you're like, hey, can you stop making a smoothie right now? It's really loud. It's very loud and distracting to the 3 other people that are watching this. Well, maybe I'll do some Zoom shows. I just assume they want you to do like your best material.
No,
if you could do 20 minutes of kind of new stuff, or 10 minutes, that's fun.
This is what I do. I just keep my notebook right by here, and then and then I'm like, oh, okay, so are you, and then I'm just talking about stuff that I think is funny during quarantine, or that doesn't have to be. And then I just present it as like, are you guys doing this? Is this something that you're doing? And then it's just like, you're just really just telling funny stories. Like, I shared the shit shaming dream on that one.
That's such a funny joke. I love it.
And then, there's just like other stuff that you can talk. And you know, like, okay, so you're getting 2 laughs and it doesn't feel good, but like if you're making $85 and people are donating,
That makes you feel a lot better.
it
You're
does.
like, this doesn't feel great right now for my self-esteem, but in a couple of minutes, it's going to be worth it.
But how many shows have we had that were awful that we didn't really make that much money? It's like 25 or even 0, and then we're taking an hour to get home.
And then the whole hour train home, there's like a guy just jerking off. And you're like,
Yeah, we were like, this is like a way better scenario that's happening.
yeah. And I guess if we're going to do like a podcast live show, we should probably do it on the weekend because some people are still working, and then maybe in the afternoon. So people, if there's like people from the UK or.
Yeah, we can do like an evening, probably like a 4 or 5 in the evening thing.
Yeah, that would probably work. So we could pick a date for that. That would be cool.
Yeah, and then we'll just say, you know, no. Just a suggested donation.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, maybe we can plan that in a month, see where we're at. So that gives us enough time to put it all together. And I already know how to do it, and maybe we can, I don't know, ask if Mike can do it and just pay him like $50 or something.
Yeah, that would be fun.
To do the production of it. So we don't have to worry about sharing our screen and all that stuff. He can do that stuff.
Yeah, cool.
All right, guys. So we're plan for a live show soon.
And that's some podcast. If you have any questions, and we also want to know what you guys are doing to keep sane during quarantine.
Oh my God! Somebody had sent. It's the people leave messages on Patreon, and then I forget, and it takes for like annoying to find them on the app. So I know somebody reached out to us on there. I will be better prepared and have it on the next one.
Okay.
Oh, this is what they asked. I guess I should have brought up on earlier, but they were just like, do you wonder if celebrities are actually having people come to their house to do like hairstylings for them, or, you know, like breaking the rules?
I wonder, I mean, I'm sure some of those famous people have like assistants that kind of live with them already. So maybe that person is now having to learn how to do their makeup and other stuff that they didn't know how to do.
Yeah. I was one, because even during the water shortage and people were not supposed to be watering their lawns, like people like their Kardashians were getting busted by just ignoring that rule.
I could see that. I'm sure that they have some people that live with them, and
I mean,
maybe
they're
they
definitely doing Botox for sure.
Yeah, what a crazy time to still be upkeeping all that stuff. Like, yeah, if you go on the Kardashians, I guess Instagram or any of their social media, they still look perfect.
Yeah. You're like, you know, they have to be having somebody come over to Botox them.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if anyone has gotten hooked on Afrin spray and how they got off of it.
Is that what you're hooked on right now?
So I'm in this like serious relationship with it where I can't use it because it's making it worse, but I can't not use it, which is double negative.
Yeah.
Because then I can't breathe. So it makes it better for a little bit so I can breathe to go to sleep, and then I wake up and it's much worse. And I know I need to stop it, but I can't. It's like my heroin.
Do you think you have a deviated septum or something?
I might, but my doctor also said to me, he's like, if you're using this nose spray for more than 4 days, he's like, it has really bad effects. I was like, okay, so what if I'm using it since October? Do you think that's really bad?
Ooh,
I've been using this almost since October. So I think I have to just cold turkey get off of it. It's really hard to do though.
I know, if it makes you feel better. That's how I know Joe is with his acid reflux, where they're like, you're basically making your body realize it doesn't need to make that certain thing anymore to combat this.
Yeah, I think some celebrities probably have people living with them that are doing that stuff already. And you know, too, rich people probably have access to drugs that we don't. So they're probably giving it to people.
Yeah. Well, just look how easily available they were for some testing when all of us were like, where the hell are you getting your testing from?
It's pretty easy to test in the Bronx, but who wants to come here?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
I know they're doing antibody testing at City MD. That's the extent of it.
People in the White House are actually getting COVID.
I know, isn't that exciting?
So exciting, because I mean,
so close to hitting Trump.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, maybe he'll get it. But he's also rich and will get.
Yeah, nothing will happen. He'll be fine. It'll be interesting. All right. Should we
This
call-
was really fun. Thanks, guys, for buying merch and listening and supporting the podcast. We got some new people to support the Patreon, so thank you for that.
It was really sweet. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Maybe we keep getting to 400, and then I'm like, yes.
And then we go like to 398.
Yeah, I'm like, how is it that we can't push beyond that? I don't get.
I think we hit our glass ceiling as women. And there's no way to get past it. So
No, we're just smushed against it.
we're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. All right. I guess I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.